μεγάλο.
My name is Yorgos Kutsogiannopoulos.
And mine, Gregory Kutsogiannopoulos.
So I am the fourth generation, and next to me is the fifth generation. So first of all, our great-grandfather came from Peloponnese to Santorini about 1870 and started produce wines in Santorini. So our history starts since 1870 until today, and we hope and we wish to continue. After so long time and big history, we decided to create that museum. Everything is under the ground, and under the ground because belongs under the ground, everything. In Santorini, all the wineries was under the ground because we keep there the temperature and the humidity that they need for the preserve the wines. So, and the museum is down there. First, we are thinking to present the history of our family only, but then we decide to present all the history of the island because we see that the island is very small. So it's better to have more around the history of the wine for whole island. So many things also we buy, and some other people give us like a present, things and objects and machines that belongs to the wine and wineries, because the museum it is only for wine. Everything that you will see come in touch with the wine. It is not different things at the museum, only about the grape and the wine. So we spend around 25 years until we finish it all, and to present step by step from the how to prune the grapes and the vines until the wine in the glass.
So my name is Natalia, nice to meet you both. Let me explain you some things about the winery and the vines in Santorini. Estate Argyros is one of the oldest and biggest wineries in Santorini. It was founded in 1903. This is our new building from 2015. The tasting room is here, and behind is the production area. We're going to also have a look there. We've decided to have our new building here because it's in the heart of our vineyards. So all these around in the hills are our vines, and around we own 120 hectares. That means almost 300 acres in different spots in Santorini.
That's a little village, huh? If you put it all together, that's like a little village.
Yes, of course.
Like a little χωριουδάκι, yeah. But anyway, go ahead, sorry.
So no worries. So Santorini is very famous for its wines because of the volcano. It's a volcanic island. Our soil is volcanic. Looks like that. Full of black stones and pumice. Full of minerals. It's the reason that we produce wines with high minerality, salinity, and sharp acidity. In Santorini we have 45 different local varieties. The dominant one is the Assyrtiko grape. Assyrtiko, it's a white variety that covers more than the 75% of the vineyards here.
Wow.
And the vines we use are very old, 100 years old, sometimes more than 200 years old. These vines never been destroyed by phylloxera. Phylloxera, it's a bug that almost 100 years ago destroyed all the vines in Europe, but it couldn't survive here.
Seriously?
Yes, that's why these vines never been destroyed. We are one of the few places in the world that we use ungrafted vines, many, many years old.
Santorini produce wines about 3,500 years ago. So have very big history about the wine. Santorini is famous about Assyrtiko variety. It is white grape. Gives you taste of minerality of the soil, the volcanic soil, saltiness, herbs, and that make it more unique, the wine. Then we don't have so much rain, so give us more alcohol and make the wine more rich, more fat, and give something completely special and different than all the other wines that usually people drink. Of course, many years ago, Santorini, before built like today, the grapes was too much. Probably we speak about 40,000 tons, and now we have about 3,000 tons, because the most of the soil of the earth, it's building of houses, hotels. This time the wine is very famous all over the world, but doesn't exist a lot. The grapes is very little, so the wine is a little. Very famous now is the wine of Santorini, and probably this both less quantity with very famous of the wine make it probably more unique. I mean, you need more, you want more, but doesn't exist.
So maybe you have noticed that all the vines look very short. We make them like that. Of course, the climate here is Mediterranean, but it's too windy during the winter and too hot during the summer. Both can destroy the vines. The only way to protect them is to keep them low. So before I show you the vines, let me show you how a kouloura looks like. Kouloura is a traditional way of pruning. It's a basket. See? Wow. We wrap around the canes every November, so that's how we grow the kouloura.
And what type of tree is that?
This is a vine.
Vine?
That's a vine on its own.
Oh, interesting. Because it's very flexible, I see.
Yeah.
You can,
Yes, we do. While they're flexible enough, we wrap them around, so the next year will be like that.
Nice.
So the kouloura getting bigger and bigger every year. Wow. These vines are very young, so we haven't started yet, but we can also walk in the vineyards to show you how they look like. Yes. So these vines are Mavrotragano. Mavrotragano is a black variety. They're 5 to 7 years old. We irrigate only the youngest vines and use the irrigation system here. In a few years, in a couple of years, we will take that off. We only irrigate the youngest ones.
So what you mean? You're gonna take you're gonna change the hoses?
Yes.
Okay.
We irrigate, we water only the youngest vines. The older vines, we don't irrigate them anymore. It's very dry here, doesn't rain a lot. So they back there. So that's why we help them in the beginning.
Oh yeah, makes sense. So you don't rely on the weather at all, right?
It doesn't rain a lot here, so the biggest enemies in Santorini for the vines is the lack of water, the heat, and of course the winds. So we have problem with the water, but we only irrigate the very young vines. The older vines have very deep roots, they don't need it anymore.
So it's not very easy to grow wine and all that in the
Here,
right?
yes, the conditions are extreme. It's very difficult to grow vines here, so you can say that all these vines are heroes. They can still grow and produce grapes under these conditions. So we use 5 varieties to produce our wines. Assyrtiko, first of all, of course, Aidani and Athiri, both are white varieties. From the red varieties, we use the Mavrotragano and the Mandilaria. All these are Mavrotragano. We use them to produce the 2 roti wines we have. As you can see, the grapes are almost ready. They grow inside the kouloura.
There, right?
Yes. In a few days, not more than 1 week, we'll start to pick all of them to start the harvest.
So this is the harvest season?
Exactly.
Right?
Every August, last days of July, first days of August is the picking season, the harvest season. And here is how a kouloura looks like. See the grapes grow inside and outside, so they're protected. That's like a nest that protects the grapes from all the extreme conditions here. See, they're all like that.
Can I have something else?
Of course.
So, you know, we rented the car and we've been driving through the whole island, and I've seen these types of plants like everywhere. So there's vines all over the island, huh?
Yes, all over the island.
Wow. A lot of wine, huh?
The yield, of course, here is very low. It's about 3,000 kilos per hectare, which is at least 4 or 5 times less than the rest of Greece and the rest of Europe, of course.
That's you have a good time here, huh? That's all you need, some sun, the sea, the breeze, and good wine. And good company.
And good soil.
And good soil, okay. On what makes the wines of Santorini and the grapes so unique?
It's the climate and the soil. Imagine that we don't have much rain, we have humidity. But the soil is full of pumice stone. The pumice stone works like a sponge and keep the wet of the humidity. And the roots take from the sponge, from the pumice stone, the wet, and live like this. The quantity, of course, is very, very low. Here, every square meter, we have about 200 kilos. If you compare with other places, can give 2,000 kilos or 4,000 kilos. Here we have 200 kilos. It's very little the quantity, but the quality is very high. That's why in Santorini we buy grape about 4 to 5 euro per kilo. And other places you can find it 20 cents or 40 cents. So the first product, the grape, it's very expensive because it is very little. So that's probably makes and the wine of Santorini not very cheap. And it is the only place of the planet that the roots are the same. We never change roots. It's the same roots of the plants. Because we never have disease, so we don't have a problem years and years ago to destroy the vines, so we have to put a new plants. We never had that problem. The roots, the plants are the same. We don't say that one plant is about 3,000 years. Every 100 or 120 years, you change it from the same roots. I mean, the same thing. From the old plant comes the new one. But this I say is that we bring here other kind of plant from other country, from America, from France, from Italy. We have the same plants.
Throughout
Santorini, we don't have bad or good vintages because we have the same climate and we don't have disease. So we cannot say that one year it's very bad or very good. Probably we have about 10-20%, okay, better or not better, it depends the humidity, but from the time that we don't have disease, we cannot say that year was completely sick, so we produce very bad wine. And I believe that all the years it is about the same, about the grape. Then it is up to you how you make your wine. But for to make the wine, it's so many things for to be good. So something that doesn't works a lot or good, you have a little bit different wine.
What makes a good vintage in general? Like the
First of all, the product, the grape. For to make a good wine, you need good grape. To thicken, to make it wine or to eat it. If you think like this, so you have one very good grape. Then you need technology. To have the machines that can give you the best of the juice. And then to know how you make the wine. To know what you have to do, the steps that you have to do, and your experience. That 3 things are enough.
I can also show you the production area where we actually produce wine.
Vamos. So what is this again?
Είναι γεφυροπλάστικα.
Πες στα αγγλικά γιατί το κατάλαβα. Μου πάει στα αρχαία τώρα δημοτικά γιατί δεν ξέρω.
It's a scale, so you can wait here the grapes.
So you load the truck here, how do you do it?
No, the truck has been loaded in the vinegar and then it comes here to weigh the grapes, and then we unload the truck. The winemaker checks the grapes, of course, and we put them inside our 2 cooling rooms. See, these 2 with the wide doors, keep them cold.
So.
And the next day, when they're cold enough, we can start the winemaking process. Okay, we start with the sorting. So we put them on a big stainless steel. Exactly. Yes, we check them. Sometimes we find stones. Yes, by hand, of course. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And after that, we take all the grapes. During the harvest, we do that every day. Yes, sorting.
Wow.
And then we take the grapes here in our production area.
This is where all the magic happens, huh?
So good grapes have to just be brown and like kind of soft? Or what,
Sometimes we found sapia,
Like a bad grape that goes
bad
bad.
grapes, unhealthy grapes, we have to put them out. Stones, sticks sometimes, we find this kind of stuff.
Huh. So the magic happens outside, you said?
Yes, magic in Santorini happens outside. So, 3 pneumatic pressing machines, we use them to press the grapes after the sorting to take the juice. We have 2 new type, closed type. So we put the grapes inside, we press them by air, and we pump the juice here. In the stainless steel vats. And this is an old type pressing machines, an old type, open type. We press again the grapes by air and we take the juice from these holes. Stainless steel vats, okay? We produce the wines here, we do the fermentation process. Fermentation means that we produce alcohol from the sugars. We have different sizes, each one has a different cooling system to keep the juice cold during all this process. After the fermentation, we are ready to do some more processes like the blends or the clarification before the bottling line. Of course, we age some of our wines, especially the Vinsantos. Do you know the Vinsanto? Yes, it's the traditional dessert wine of Santorini. It's from sun-dried grapes. We pick the grapes, but we don't press them. We put them outside. We sun-dry them for 2 weeks. After that, we press them, but this time the juice is more sweet, more concentrated, more sticky. We need almost 16 pounds of grapes, 10 kilos of grapes for 1 small bottle, half liter. Yes, because it's like raisins grape, raisins wine.
Wow.
Yeah, it takes a lot. What grape is it?
We produce Vinsantos, the 80% of the blend is Assyrtiko, 10% Zaidan and 10% is Athiri, all white local varieties. The regulation says that at least a 51% has to be the Assyrtiko. We use the 80%.
So that's the standard. You need
Exactly.
the Assyrtiko in there for
It's
sure.
not the only ones that use the 80% of Assyrtiko?
It depends. Every winery has
Different
a different
mix.
blend. Yes.
Different blend.
Of course, there are some rules, but
Yep. Can I ask you something else? Like how much wine can that fit?
it depends. We have different sizes, from 1 tone to 10 tones to 15 tones. Yes. Every year we produce here 350,000 bottles, and we export more or less 60% of it.
So 60% is export.
Yes, 40% stays in Greece.
Seriously?
Yes.
So you would say that exporting is a big thing
Of course.
for Greek wine
Greek
in
wine, for
general.
Santorinian wine is a very big thing.
That's why you have the US one.
We had some customers the day before, so from America, that's why we have it.
Nice.
Of course, except the stainless steel, we use the French oak barrels to age some of our wines. Our cellar is an old building 2 minutes away from here, full of barrels. We age our Vinsantos there. We use big barrels, each one contains 500 liters. Good, yes. we age the Vinsantos from 4 to 20 years, it depends on the label, of course. It's our lab. We do the quality control here, which is very important for all the production. You can have a look. This period of time, we're taking samples from the vineyards and we check the grapes. The acidity, the pH, the sugars, which is the most important. That's how the winemaker makes his decision when we are ready to start the harvest. And of course, during all this process, we're taking samples to check everything.
Yeah. Wow. That's really good. So it's a big process.
It's a big process, yes.
Well,
Every single step matters.
The fermentation, the pressing, the aging of the barrels, everything is important. It's very famous for the Assyrtiko wines, the Assyrtiko grape. We will taste 3 of them. And also for the Vinsantos, which are dessert wines. But we'll start the wine tasting with another grape variety, this one. It's the Aidani grape. Aidani is the second most famous variety in Santorini after Assyrtiko, and it's totally different. Assyrtiko has citrus notes, high minerality, high acidity and salinity because of the volcanic soil, with an aging potential 1 to 5 years. Aidani, it's a very aromatic variety, smells a lot like tropical fruits. It has hints of minerality and high acidity, but it's very crispy and refreshing wine. Terroir was the first from 2004 that decided to produce a wine only from the Aidani grape. Until today we're one of the few wineries in Santorini that will produce a wine like that. It's very fresh, the vintage of 2018, from vines that are 40 to 50 years old. We produce this wine in the stainless steel tank you saw inside, and we bottle after a couple of months. It's still a very fresh wine.
It sounds very interesting.
40 to 50 years old. No worries. 40 to 50 years old. We are a phylloxera-free place, and these are some of the youngest vines we have. For the Assyrtiko, we use vines that are 100, 200 years old.
That's what I mean. Wow.
This wine, Cuvée Monsignor, is from vines that are 200 years old.
200 years old, Wow. Σας ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ.
Καλά.
Στην υγεία σου, την δεξιά του να έχεις. Έλα, bon, cheers.
No, it's really sweet.
Has crisp acidity.
Τι βγάζει ο τόπος. Αχ, Θεέ μου. Άπω, φίλε. Αιδάνη. Καλά, είναι απίστευτο.
Acidity, it's good acidity, crispy acidity.
Κατεβαίνει πολύ γλυκά. Δεν σου αφήνει πολύ ωραίο aftertaste.
Cuvée Monsignori, 100% Assyrtiko again, the vintage of 2017. We use only the older vines that are 200 years old plus in the slopes here. You can also see the slopes in the label. We produce this wine in the stainless steel, and we age it there for 1 year with its lees before the bottling process. 1 year, yes. Thank you.
Εμείς ευχαριστούμε.
Vinsanto is the most traditional dessert wine in Greece. We produce it exclusive here in Santorini. It's a white wine. The 80% of the blend is the Assyrtiko grape, 10% Aidani grape, and 10% Athiri, all white local varieties. We pick the grapes and we put them outside under the sun for 2 weeks. We sun dry them, so they're becoming very small and concentrated, almost like raisins. I can also show you pictures of this after. We will taste 2 different vintages. The first one from 2011. We produce this wine from vines that are 150 years old. We produce it in the stainless steel. We age it for 4 years in the French oak barrels, plus for more years in the bottle. And this is the older one from 1995. We produced again in the stainless steel. It has been aged for 20 years in the French oak barrels, plus 4 years in the bottle, so 24 years in total. Okay, and after 2 weeks, they're like that.
Πλάκα κάνεις. Red, different color completely.
Different sizes. So this one, all the aromas are very concentrated. Did you smell it?
Yeah.
It smells a lot like sun-dried fruits, raisins, apricots,
it's like a lot.
caramel, honey. Yes, exactly, concentrated.
And we have also only sweet wine, Vinsanto or Varieties. Varieties, it is one wine, sweet wine, that we produce it from 3 white and 3 red grapes. And that was the first wine of the family at 1870. And we still produce until today, and people that they come here, they find it only here. We don't sell to any other shops out of the winery. We will find it only here. That wine is at least 10 years in an oak barrel. That barrel that they will see down in the museum. So people know that from that barrels they can taste and buy wine from the first barrels of the family. very strange question.
I don't think that I will choose an actor because I have never met him. It's not a part of your family. Maybe I wish I could see my grandfather, but I couldn't meet him. I don't remember him. It's my father's father. I think that's the only person I would like to see. The other people, there's no common between us, so it will be very strange, unfamiliar. And I don't think that I will choose someone else, yeah.
Interesting. And
Agree with Grigoris. Agree.
family member or?
I prefer someone from the family, and probably that time you will spend more time with them than when you had it, but you didn't realize that someone will gone. And will be more important times, because you know that now you know that it is not forever, and you will try to spend a long time with them and to speak with them and to listen them. The last, let's say, 40 years, the Greek wines and winery, they start to make very, very high quality wines. Probably it is one part of the year that Greece it's a little bit quiet. If you see the history, all the time Greece it's upside down. Dictatorship, Second World War, First World War, and everything. Never Greece was quiet. So all the time that country try to survive. If you try to survive, you don't plan to make a good wine or something else. Countries that was more easy all that years continue and do things, of course, and are many years, let's say, in front of Greece, because one country try to live and the other country, they don't have that problem and try to make fashion. So I believe that the last 40, 45 years, Greece going very quickly up to everything, and the wine special, because have very good grape, have the technology and how to make the wine. They know how. So this time, slowly, around Europe and around the planet, people knows that and Greece have very good wine. But until now, we don't have so heavy brand name like France, Italy, Spain. Greece now build the brand name.
The brand, that's the key, I think.
Yes. I mean, if you take one bottle of wine of Greece and you put one label France, you can sell it 100 euro. If we change the label and we put one Greek label, you will sell it 10 euro. Because France have very heavy brand name, Greece doesn't have. The wine is very good, but doesn't have yet very heavy brand name. Otherwise, Greece wines are very, very good, and that you can see that in any competition takes gold awards and silver and gold. and many times are in front from many other, let's say, more old countries. But until now, the brand name builds year by year. We are not on the top of the brand name. We need better and heavy brand name that we don't have. That's why the wine of Greece, it's more cheap. Not because of the quality of the wine, because of the brand name, because of the advertising that until now is not enough.
Stay